And we learned a lot from last year, so we are changing this year. We're going 2 full days with drag racing this year. We are going with Gillette. Gillette picked it up also. Gillette's now doing 3 days, but they're doing 2 nights, so we're doing the days. So
we'll go ahead and call to order the regular council meeting of Monday, April 6, 2026. To order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the invocation of the allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity we have of serving you in the community. We pray that you continue to watch over us, give us the wisdom and guidance that we need, and help us to better communicate and to do what you have us to do for the city to make it grow. For we ask these things in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Does the council entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting and executive session of March 16th, 2026?
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Does the council have any nominations for recognition tonight? Any nominations for recognition? I would like to make a nomination for recognition to Kathy Levasseur for her hard work that she did to get the Vietnam Wall to our community. I thought it was great, Kathy, and I'd like to nominate you for
Well, it's
recognition.
not here yet, so.
It's coming.
Make
I'm
it.
just kidding.
Get a flat tire somewhere. Thank you, Ty.
I agree. Thank you.
So now to a certificate of recognition for Sue County. Do you want to come up, Sue? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I felt it was like getting in trouble.
Oh.
This is supposed to be anonymous, what I do.
Oh,
shucks.
So thank you for comforting members of our community through quilting. Your actions and kindness to those in need are truly appreciated. So we just really appreciate you doing what you do, and I just wanted to nominate you for recognition. For
Okay, well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Moving on to citizens business verbal. Item number 1, Northeast Wyoming Advocacy Resource Center.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Gould, and I am the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Crisis Advocate for the Northeast Wyoming Advocacy Resource Center. And my office is stationed here in Newcastle, so I primarily serve the victims in Weston County, as well as Crook, but this is kind of my primary home area. So I'm here to do a couple things today. First, I want to thank you guys for what you provided to our agency last year when you funded us $5,000. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And to show you kind of where that money goes to, I brought together some numbers of this past year from July 1st, 2025 till today, April 6, 2026, of all Newcastle survivors that you guys helped us assist. So of those numbers, we have 23 clients in total for Newcastle. 15 of those were victims of domestic abuse. 4 of them were stalking victims. 1 of them was a sexual assault for an adult, and then 3 of them were sexual assaults of a minor. So what were the kind of services that we provided to these survivors? We do a lot of in-person crisis advocacy, so we kind of respond with them when they come into the office, as well as doing the 24-hour crisis line. We also provide emergency food, shelter, clothing items, those type of things. We also assist in financial assistance for legal support for them, for retaining attorneys. And we provide a lot of information and referral to other entities within our community, as well as other resources that they could potentially use at the state or federally speaking. So this is my main kind of gist as to why I'm here. So I'm going to kind of read from my sheet because I have to be particular on what I'm saying. So the services that we provided come through funds that you guys provide to us. So local funding is also a requirement for our agency in order for us to maintain certification as well as to continue receiving state and federal funds. So with that in mind, I am requesting for you guys to contribute to us again this year for the Northeast Wyoming Advocacy Resource Center in the amount of $5,000 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. So thank you again for all you guys do, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And that's about it.
Does the council have any questions? We just really appreciate the service that you provide for the community.
Thank you. Okay, I have also the contractor services as well as our board members' contact. Do I need to hand that out or just provide it to one?
And actually, they have copies, and
You're good.
they've received them before.
Awesome, thank you. All right, well, thank you again, guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 2 under citizens business, verbal Mondale Airport report and wages.
Good evening, once again, Robert Severa, airport board member. We again turned in our budget to you last week. Our budget stayed the same. This is the second year in a row now. Once again, we also have indicated that the one item that stays on there is the increase in wages for tough street manager that the county commissioners approved now 2 years ago. You guys have not approved that increase. You know, I talked to you about 3 or 4 months ago about that. And last I heard, you were going to talk about amongst yourself why it wasn't approved. I hadn't heard anything, so that's why when we submitted the budget again this year, the item's still there on the budget. Unless our budget stays the same as amount-wise. Also, included in it, our hangar project is done. We have full occupancy. So it is in use and being used. So we won't be bothering with that anymore for a while. The sheet that we gave you on the budget, if you'll notice on the last page, in the contract for completion of it, the FAA, and correct me if I'm wrong on this stuff, the state aeronautics has to finalize all of the paperwork, they haven't done that yet. Project was, yes,
I apologize, can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
The council doesn't have your budget stuff in front of them. I
Oh.
have that in my packet for the workshop next week,
okay,
so they
well,
don't see what you're talking about.
okay, so when you see it, I'll explain to you. The last sheet like this, what it is, in the contract, because there was a 4.5 month delay in completion of the project past the completion date, there's a clause in there of lost revenue. And what that last page does, you'll see in there, all these figures show how we calculated the revenue we lost in the contractor not completing the project in a timely fashion, or a 4.5 month delay.
That's
So
that 9,000?
that's $9,272.91, yes. And now, that's what we and our engineering firm and the contractors agreed upon. Then that all had to go to the FAA and the Wyoming Airlines Association to see if they agree with their figures and our figures and the contractor figures. So that's why we're still looking at this is gonna be a right amount or not. But we are gonna get some money back, we just don't know how much. But again, it's because of the delay, the contractor was 4.5 months late in getting the project built. And I wanna say to toot the airport board's own horn, we probably were more in line with the contractor, staying on board, following what the contract said they should do with using material, building locally, using local builders. When they didn't, we were on them. If they didn't meet the specs, we had them take stuff out and put the spec stuff in. They didn't like us very much. They threatened to leave site twice. But we got the hangars built to the specs, the way they're supposed to. And so that's all I'll say about that. But we put a lot of effort into that to hopefully give the city and the county 8 hangars that will last and cook for a long time. So, but when you see this next week, it's a lot of stuff on there. It might be confusing, but if you work through it, this is how it was calculated to come up with the lost revenue. I wanted to tag it for a lot more, but they wouldn't let me do that. So, any questions?
So does this go back to the contractor that was building it then?
Yes. Yeah. It was stipulated right into the contract that this was gonna be any lost revenue past these dates, and then have it calculated out.
Good.
And then, when we calculated it out, then they had a right to, I'll say, question how we calculated it. And then we sat down with our contractor and our engineers and basically fought out, well, that's too much, that's not enough, da-da-da-da. And then when we got all done with that, when it came up with the figure, it had to go to the FAA and the Wyoming Airlines Association to say, oh, that's good or that's bad. So that's where we're at right now.
Is Pat and Tim, are they the contractors?
Excuse me?
Is Pat and Tim
They are our engineering firm.
engineers?
Yes, they're Merkel and
Morrison Martin.
Morris and Merlin, excuse me. They're are actually our contractors. They work for us.
Engineering.
Engineering firm, excuse me, engineering firm, yes. Any questions we have technically on what's going on, we go to them. They go to the FAA or the American Airlines Association, make sure it's done per the FAA specifications. So. They don't like me very much either. But that's, tomorrow we go to the commissioners and basically present the same thing to them.
Thank you for your presentation. It sounds like we'll discuss wage increase and that at the budget workshop that's coming up.
Okay. Any questions, just let us know. If you wanna, I know Tom Boston said in some of our meetings, if you wanna sit in one of our meetings, just let Tough know, or Tom, I'm sure you can contact us, and we'd like to have you. Okay. So questions, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 3 under citizens business, verbal, Sandra Martin for the drag races.
If I say something wrong, tell me.
Okay.
Once again, we're back for the drag races. We're gonna make this an annual thing. We're doing a lot of changes on the one. We learned a lot from last year, so we are changing this year. We're going 2 full days with drag racing this year. We are going with Gillette. Gillette picked it up also. Gillette's now doing 3 days, but they're doing 2 nights, so we're doing the days. So we kind of work together what the drag racing are. We've talked to the state. They didn't have a problem. They said it went smooth. We didn't have anything. No big red flags. We didn't have anything with the police department or the EMTs. Everything went smooth.
This place is full of love. You can tell the people that like to be with old people because they really take care of you good and are very kind.
Twice a day, every day, the activities people have an organized activity that's always interesting.
Everybody loves to play bingo. We play it 3 times a week here. We also have ceramics that you can paint. Really pleasant to live here. It's a good place to be.
No big red flags. We didn't have anything with the police department or the EMTs. Everything went smooth. A lot of great feedback. So I guess it's a courtesy to let you know that we're coming and doing the same route that we're doing, but it'll be 2 days. Although on Friday night, we're gonna do the car show, and we're hoping that the Arts Council will jump in with us again for a band and program downtown on Main Street.
What days are we talking?
July 11th and 12th. And 10th, Friday night, will be the Main Street.
Will the car show also be on Main Street? Okay.
Right? Am I right with the date? I'm sure I am.
What night do you want the band?
Friday, 10th,
The 10th.
correct.
Well, I thought it was a great event last year.
It was
It was
great.
a lot of fun.
We had a little situation at the autocross up at the school. We're not gonna do an autocross this year. The school was kind of fun not to work with. So we're not gonna do a autocross at the school again on their parking lot. We just decided we'd waive that and just do 2 full days of racing since everybody enjoyed that. We did have a fun experience. Those of you that did not hear what happened, I actually had to call the mayor out to the school during our autocross event because we had alert from the prison that an escape was happening. And once that is, I understand from when Pam was here that once there's an escape, all events that are downtown for the safety of the community had to shut down. Well, we couldn't find that policy, so Tyrell and I had a conversation that maybe we should implement that or bring something to the community awareness that if there was an escape when we had a big event going on with so many people around. But our concern was for the community, so we brought him up and made a call. And of course, my husband was there, so we all made a call at the last minute. We didn't know what else to do, did we? We didn't know. So it came out pretty good, but that sure was an eye-opener on what we do if there was an escape during a big event. I think we need to implement some protocol to that effect, because there's not one on our books.
Well, that's something that we'll take under
Yeah.
advisement.
Pardon,
That
Anna.
is a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great event.
It was great.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I hope it's bigger this year.
We do too. We are anticipating, we lost a lot of the people that were coming, the cars and stuff, because they didn't have anywhere to stay. There was nowhere for them to put their cars and trailers. We're trying to fix that. The other thing was Gillette took over some of them. Sturgis still is not having theirs. Douglas shut theirs down. We also got some of their equipment, so we are trying to implement bigger and better. We've already got phone calls, as our board knows, and Greg's on our board, that we are implementing with the other drag racers. Now we know what we have to do. That first year is a killer, not knowing what to do, but I think it'll grow each year if we can implement it in the community.
Awesome.
I think you're right. I think it'll go.
I do too. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, you.
It was really fun. Oh, and we did pass to our insurance that anybody that wants to have a ride, so we did give rides last year in the drag race car. Some of the pros that came in did give rides, and there were a lot of them. No one under the age of 18, but anybody over the age of 18, we are going to do rides. If anybody wants a passenger ride, come and see me and I'll hook you up. If I like you. Maybe not. Dawn, don't call me. I love Dawn.
What are you looking at for hours? What time are you gonna start?
Okay, we will shut down the main drag at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we're done with races, you know, of course, by dusk, did we say 6:30? Is that what you said?
Somewhere around that
Six.
time frame.
And then they'll reopen again on Sunday morning. So all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I'm only coming to you really early since this is July, and you guys can get questions or come back to me or whatever, just to let me know what's happening, so we have anything that comes up, we'll know ahead of time that this is what's happening, it's already on the books.
We have filled out an app or the
Oh, she's got it,
special event form.
yes.
You're still looking at the same thing if there's a fire?
Yep, we have all of it
Everything's
covered,
gonna
yep, all of it covered, everything's there, the refinery's aware, everybody that was aware last year, all the EMTs. We have our meeting with all the police department, the fire department and everybody. I think we're gonna do it a little closer because we're so far out. Lynn Buskell over the Search and Rescue is on our board, he's taking care of all of the, what do you wanna call it, the service
Emergency
protocol, the
services.
emergency stuff, so we have all that. We have everybody in place that we had last year's coming back this year.
That's gonna be, my question is if you set up meetings yet with people.
We are. We don't know how far out they want to know, but I feel like the sooner the better. And Lynn's getting on the horn with them. He was going to last week, but he had a family emergency last week with his wife. And so that delayed us a week. So I think we're on our agenda to do it next week, right? Yep. So they will all be notified next year to have a meeting. Correct.
That way you can have that conversation with each one of the groups.
Yep, we are. We're going to bring them all together. Derek doesn't want to look at that face.
Sorry, I haven't been listening to you the entire time.
Does the council have any further questions for Sandra?
No, the only thing that, I saw last year was the sidewalk. You know, where they weren't letting anybody walk down the sidewalk. We need to make sure that that is put out there so the public knows, because there was a lot of people trying to walk, just out walking like they always do.
On the walk path.
And they were pretty irritated that they shut the sidewalk down for it as well. So that needs to be communicated out as to why the sidewalk's being shut down, the importance.
Okay. We'll deal with that. Okay.
Don't worry, I took the brunt of that one too, thank you.
Thank you, Derek. We love you. I am addressing, actually another board member is going to go with me tomorrow for the county commissioners. So if you have any questions or anything for them, for us, we want everybody involved again, like we did last year. So I will address them tomorrow morning as well.
Cool. Any further questions? The event forms already came across my desk and I signed them. I'm just really excited for the event.
Yay!
Looking forward to it.
I know, we're excited. We are very excited. And we would take any input. Any of you guys that want to come help, come speak, come anything. We want it to be big, so come, please. You can come right in the car, Dawn.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks. I'm out. I miss the bungle.
Moving on to citizens' business in writing, item number 1, Melissa Hammond with the Weston County Chapel Commission Board. So to the esteemed city council members, March 16th, 2026. My name is Melissa Hammond. I'm the current general manager for the Newcastle Lodge and Convention Center. I'm writing to express my interest in being your representative on the Weston County Travel Commission. I've served our community on several local boards: Newcastle Area Chamber of Commerce, Board of Directors, Newcastle Recreation Board, and Weston County Travel Commission. I was appointed to the Travel Commission to complete the term through the county commissioners for a person that had moved out of state. I enjoy my time with the commission. I had chosen to not continue when my term expired because my commitments with the NACOC board were extensive, serving as president. My time on that board has ended, and I would love to be a member of the Travel Commission once again. I look forward to your decision. Thank you for your time and consideration. Signed, Melissa Hammond. Does the council entertain a motion to appoint Melissa Hammond to the Weston County Travel Commission Board?
Your Honor, I move that we appoint Melissa Hammond as a member of our representative on the Travel Commission Board.
Okay. Is there a second? There's a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Melissa's on the Travel Commission Board. Moving on to item number 2, Weston County Children's Center, request for sewer averaging. Dear City Council members, we are once again requesting consideration for summer sewer averaging for the Weston County Children's Center. The Children's Center maintains a very large playground and a front lawn area, as well as landscaping along the street. As a result, we use more water in the summer months, keeping these areas irrigated, green, and attractive. We respectfully request your consideration for an adjustment to our sewer rates for the period of May to October. Your consideration is greatly appreciated. Very sincerely, signed, Francie Gregory. Does the council entertain a motion to provide sewer forgiveness for the time frame?
Not forgiveness, not forgiveness.
What?
Sewer average.
Sewer averaging, pardon me, sewer averaging, thank you, Councilwoman. Does the council entertain a motion?
Also move.
We have a motion properly seconded. Did you get one of those seconds? It's okay. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Moving on to old business, replat for Wayne and Laura Oni.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, since the council last on March 16th referred questions back to the planning and zoning board, the planning and zoning board is not met yet. So I recommend that we don't discuss this until we've had a chance to confer with the planning and zoning board members, which happens this Thursday.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and table, we have a motion to table this, replat for Wayne and Laura Oni until next council meeting on the 20th. Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. We'll table it until the next meeting. Moving on to old business number 2. Council, I just got an email back from another party that has provided me with about 8 different investment policies for different communities that kind of surround us. So I'll compile all that information, and then I would like the finance committee to look at that. Oh, and Stacy printed some copies for the finance committee. That's cute, Stacy. So,
Thanks a lot, Stacy.
yeah, so if the finance committee could look at that and, it's gonna be a process. We're gonna have to look at it and kind of decide what best works for the council, so we could even maybe have a workshop or something in the future to decide where we wanna go with this. But, so maybe if not by next meeting, but the meeting after, maybe we could come back to the council and kind of come up with an idea.
You're talking May.
Yeah, I think so. So just for the council's awareness, and the finance committee been provided with the materials, so. Is there any, questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business, item number 1, proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens of City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County, who telephone the 911 Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators work as professionals to improve the emergency response capabilities and are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel through their leadership and training, and by monitoring the responders' activities by radio, providing them with information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of City of Newcastle, Town of Upton, and Weston County Communications Center have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, therefore the City of Newcastle does hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week.
I don't think the county commissioner's intent is to close down the hospital. I'm
Well, they
dead
wouldn't
serious.
say that they did it. They would say the Department of Audit and the hospital through its failures, that the hospital and the Department of Audit did it, and they were just the instrument, which is true, but they could be an instrument of defiance.
To help save it. Right. They need to be the instrument to help save it.
There's a reason that state law says the county commission shall do, and we'll end on this, okay? The law says the county commission shall take this measure, not to force the county commission to take this step, but to make it clear that only the county commission can take this step. The reason the law is written with the county commission shall is so that the state does not shut down a hospital, a water district, a something else.
Therefore, the City of Newcastle does hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the City of Newcastle and the County of Weston in honor and recognition of dispatchers and the vital contribution that they make to the safety and well-being of our citizens each and every day. Dated this 6th day of April, 2026, I'm asking for a motion for the council to approve the proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
Your Honor, I move the council approve the proclamation of National Public Safety Telecommunications Week.
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Do you want to pass it around to the council to sign? Okay. We can pass that around and sign it, and I'll dig into the next item on new business. So item number 2, proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation, April 1st, 2026. Whereas the early experiences of a child impact them throughout life, both positively and negatively. Whereas prevention is possible. With strong policies and investments, families and children can thrive, fostering prevention, stability, and long-term well-being. Whereas supporting families early reduces the need for a crisis response, improves lifelong outcomes, strengthens communities, and saves public dollars in costly downstream interventions across multiple systems. Whereas every family and child is filled with tremendous promise, and we all have a collective responsibility to prevent adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, foster the potential of every child, and promote positive childhood experiences. Whereas positive childhood experiences, PCEs, such as loving caregivers and safe, stable, and nurturing relationships, play a vital role in helping children thrive by mitigating trauma and the negative impact of adverse childhood experiences. Whereas families who receive the support they need before a crisis occurs are better equipped to provide safe, healthy, and nurturing environments, leading to children who are safer, healthier, and more hopeful about their futures. Whereas primary prevention of child abuse and neglect can reduce the lifetime economic burden associated with child maltreatment. Whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, can have a long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects throughout an individual's lifetime and impact future generations. Whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. Whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about what families need before they are in crisis and contribute to promoting the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. Now therefore, I, Tyrell Owens, Mayor of the City of Newcastle, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Newcastle, Wyoming, and urge all citizens to recognize that child abuse is preventable and that a healthy and prosperous society depends on strong families and communities. Together, we can create a state invested in families where every child deserves to live a purposeful and happy life with hope for their future. Does the council entertain a motion to approve Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Thanks, council. Thanks, Stacy. Moving on to new business, item number 3, newsletter journal, digital communications proposal. Did everybody receive a copy of the newsletter journal's digital communication partnership proposal?
Yes.
What's the council's thoughts? Has everybody had a chance to review the partnership proposal?
Do we not already have an arrangement with Southwest Marketing?
So, I think this is, something that, Bob Bonner's, pitched to me before. And then it's come before the council before too. But it's another proposal. It's,
Well, it expands on what we're doing with Sagebrush Marketing, but I can't see that we can do this and not disturb that relationship or cancel it. Because he's talking about website and, management and a lot of different things in here.
Yeah.
And he's got some impressive numbers here as far as the 35,000 active users on the website every 28 days. So that should be considered. I think that our website is definitely something useful, but it's also not, we don't gain any dollars from our website. It's not a revenue source of any kind. And we have to consider that when we want to spend money on it.
yeah, so when I've spoken with Mr. Bonner about this in the past, he's wanting to steer more traffic towards our already existing website so that it can actually be a hub for people to get information. And then, so there would be a level of marketing here, and then it would just, if people had questions, it points everybody back to the website. And then the hope is that the website would end up getting more traffic, and then we could actually use the website to put out a lot of public notice or public information. That's how it was presented to me. So I don't know how the council feels about it, or maybe if this is something that we want to table and have some more discussion at maybe the next council meeting or the one after.
I move that we table it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion properly seconded to table it. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. We'll table it to the next meeting. Okay, moving on to committee council member reports. Item number 1, personnel committee.
So, I guess we're personnel. We had a personnel committee, and our main agenda on that one was to discuss the building inspector. And then also during that time, we discussed, we only have 2 months left within the budget. Do we look at what that work would be remaining for that person for the rest of the year versus, do we wait till the budget session to look at that for budgeting? During the process, with the increase of potential work that person would end up having to do and take some of that off of Stephen, which he's doing right now. And then also we looked at, if we did look at hiring this position, to get a kind of a head start within the project season, what did we have left in the budget to make sure we covered it? So there was kind of 2 aspects we wanted to look at. Make sure we had money in there if we wanted to hire currently, or if we wanted to wait to the next budget session to make sure we were able to cover this position as a full-time position. During that time, we discussed different duties and responsibilities. So we didn't feel like sometimes we had enough work for that person to do full-time. So I believe they reached out to the chief at the time to also help work with some of the CSO duties as they work through the areas, which kind of goes hand in hand with building inspection and probably property, the ordinance pieces of that. So at the time when we had our meeting, we kind of left it at, we felt that it would be prudent for us to go ahead and hire this position with what remaining money they had budgeted for. They could advertise it, get the position filled, and then look at our next budget session to, for this position. So if I left anything out, let me know.
No, I
As
think
of right
you-
now, I think it would be our recommendation that we would post and hire this position.
You covered it well. Thank you.
So would you make that recommendation in the form of a motion?
I would make a motion that we would, have, our city engineer post the job description and stuff for the building inspector and fill this position, with those candidates.
Is there a second? We have a motion properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Was there anything else for the personnel committee?
Not at the time when we met, it was only discussing the open position for the building inspector.
I think I do want to just say something that I want to make it clear that we are using money that you had kind of extra for something. So we're not pulling from anything that's gonna hurt anybody else.
I think our staff has looked at the building inspector position in a manner which they've kind of identified some different duties and kind of thought outside the box to keep this person very busy.
There's actually duties that haven't been addressed in quite some time, so the list continues, as well as the normal work of the building inspector.
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of excited. I hope that we get a good candidate and that we're able to fill the positions. And, well, good work, personnel committee. Anything else from the personnel committee? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 2 under committee council member reports, police committee.
Okay, and the next one, we met with the chief and that to, mainly just one topic on there, kind of discuss was the MOU with Upton. Weston County. Law enforcement for some coverage of calls and stuff outside of the city limits, which would include some coverage and stuff in Upton. I know we've had some other issues that we've had to respond to, state line, a little bit through the south of us and the north of us. During our discussions in that, obviously, law enforcement personnel safety comes into play in some of this when you start having issues going on that calls for law enforcement, and sometimes if they don't have additional resources to back them up, us being able to be close enough to lend that assistance. It's the same way with the sheriff's office being able to lend assistance with us with things that's going in the county or the city. I think a perfect example of that one was one that we had a couple weeks ago that involved agencies from Campbell County. So some of this, we discussed back and forth, liability, and I think when we get into the MOU, we're gonna need some more legal reviews of this.
The new store. This is the one-stop shop. We have a pharmacy. We have a bootlegger's liquor. The deli, the food that you can get at a lunchtime is so amazing. The coffee shop. Certain Friday mornings, there's 30 people sitting here in all these chairs. This is the hub for people to come and visit, have their coffee, have their donuts. It's amazing what this area has done. Totally amazing.
We discussed back and forth, liability, And I think when we get into the MOU, we're gonna need some more legal reviews of this and making sure, that the city is covered. Not only for liability of going outside of our jurisdiction and with the county, how that looks. Our vehicles, how that's being covered, driving from here to Osage or whatever distance we have to go. There are many, animals that are on the highway in between going there and coming back. What's that look like, that we're trying to protect our assets? But also, are we protecting not only the community that's calling law enforcement and then that law enforcement officer that's needing backup? Anything else additional on that?
We looked at having a dimension that you could stay within a certain circle, but not have to go maybe to Lusk.
Right.
So,
No, I don't think so. The primary purpose of the request is just to make sure that our personnel and assets are both protected when we're responding to assist other agencies. And we've provided assistance to the sheriff's office quite a bit and vice versa. So we want to make sure if we're operating outside of our jurisdictional boundaries that our staff is covered appropriately, and our assets in the way of equipment and things like that are covered for liability reasons if something were to happen while they're responding to those calls.
Anything else from the other members that were there?
I have a question. That is it difficult to get our police officers, just make them a deputy sheriff when they leave the city limits?
They can be deputized. That's at the discretion of the sheriff himself. But typically they don't blanket deputize any one department. Most of the time, even between sheriff's offices, they operate under an MOU, and I'm not entirely certain why, other than being deputized gives you actually more authority probably, because it's not limited to at request only and things of that nature. It would probably open up the door for having too much leeway for everybody if they were to be deputized.
So at this time, we didn't have anything really to bring back, still under the review and discussion and everything of the MOU, which I think is gonna take a little while once we get that communication back and forth between the county, the sheriff's office and us, and having the attorney look them over.
Yeah, it'll take some back and forth to get it all ironed out the way to be acceptable for all interested parties.
So given current staffing and, need, how did, I'm missing something here. So, has there been a need for, Newcastle PD to assist other communities? I had heard that they've seen Newcastle PD cars as far as Elkton. So I didn't know if we've already been doing this.
Yes, we have. And yes, there is a need. Most of the time, when you're talking middle of the night, the number of available officers is much less. And some of those incidents they've responded to are very serious from a public safety and officer safety standpoint. And I had given them the standing order a long time ago that if you hear a request from another officer in need, you respond, period. We'll work out the details later. But the frequency it has become frequently enough that I think we need to take the steps to make sure that we're covered appropriately. And we are covered by statute in doing that. You can always provide mutual aid to another agency, but this is just another blanket of protection, if you will.
So when we have an officer respond to another community, does that leave us uncovered?
No, so, what they do is they respond, and then they have dispatch call a supervisor and, make sure they let us know that what they're doing, so we can backfill if necessary.
So it sounds like this has some work that needs to be done.
I think we need to make sure that the appropriate language is in there to ensure we're protected as much as we can be anyways.
Okay, was there anything further from the police committee? It sounds like this needs to be worked on for a bit. More to follow.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of detail, I think, some questions I had during the whole process, but, I think everyone's in agreement that, you know, the community safety and officer safety was priority, and we worked out how we cover each other in this process.
Very good. Anything further from the police committee?
Nothing for me.
Anything further? Any further questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to committee and council member reports. Item number 4, Black Hills energy rates. So,
Item 3.
oh, did I skip 3? Oh, yeah, I checked it and I didn't, sorry, excuse me, everyone. Item number 3, streets, alleys, and buildings committee. So this was a meeting about the easement behind the gentleman's property over between Olcott and the alley. Okay. Who's presenting from the streets, alleys, and buildings committee?
Well, we did read about that. And Greg, did you come to their meeting?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, no, I did not.
Okay, I thought we met about that, and, we didn't?
Okay.
We just discussed
Mr.
it
Mayor.
somewhere. Was it here?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, yes, we did discuss it at the last meeting. We're still trying to get coordinated with the retaining wall on South Summit, so we can have both meetings at one time and take care of both things at once.
Okay, so I thought we talked about that.
Okay,
So we have not functioned yet, Mr. Mayor.
okay, understood. Well, I guess it was okay that I skipped on to item number 4. So, Black Hills energy rates. So, Clerk Treasurer Haggerty and myself were invited to a meeting with representatives from Black Hills Energy, and unfortunately, I'd love it if we could catch a break sometimes, but I had actually spoken with somebody from another community and they had met with them prior, so I was already provided with a little bit of information before going into the meeting. But Black Hills Energy identified the fact that they haven't looked at their rates since 2013, and they have some facilities that have reached their useful life. So they are looking at $500 million worth of improvements that need to be made to their grid. It's to upgrade some generator facilities that haven't been looked at since the 60s. And they are proposing a 32% increase on their energy services. And they're looking at the increase now, but they don't expect it to take effect until possibly this time next year. So we're about a year out from the proposed increases as they continue to look at what's necessary and evaluate where the rates are actually going to fall. But being that this council and myself, I get assigned the checks, the council gets to approve them. We already pay a significant amount for our electric bill every month. And it's going to be increased by possibly $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So not news that you really want to hear, but we have about a year to think about it, and
They have to go before the commission in Cheyenne before they can do this, right?
I believe so. So,
Do we have a choice?
we just signed the franchise agreement with Black Hills Energy, and it's a 10-year contract. So, when I think it might have been before your term, Councilman.
So they got us to sign that and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I told them that having been through our own rate increases, that I could understand their position, and there wasn't really any getting mad or, it's coming whether we like it or not.
32%?
Hopefully they don't land on that, Councilman Boss, but that's what they had presented at the meeting. So I'm just providing this bit of information for the council's awareness. So I think I covered everything. Does the council have any questions? Or is there any questions from the public? Go ahead, Kathy.
Are we ever gonna get street lights again? I have not had street lights at my house coming up on a year.
We brought up street lights with the folks from Black Hills Energy, and they said that they thought that they've been doing a good job of coming and replacing the street lights.
I saw a truck working on them the other day.
Yeah. So maybe they'll get over there, Kathy, if you provide your address, or, I know where you live, actually.
I've talked to them, I've called them already, so they said when they could get to it, they'd work it in. And that's been almost a year ago, so, I'm right there by the park and stuff.
Well, I did tell the folks from Black Hills Energy, I said, well, if there's going to be this significant rate increase, will you be more proactive about replacing our street lights? And that's when they told me, oh, well, we thought we've been doing a good job of replacing your street lights. So, I did push them a little bit, but yeah.
They don't know they're out till somebody tells them.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
I call
have you been putting the flagging on the lights?
Correct. Mr. Mayor, Councilman, yes, I checked them last week. So they have a current list as of last week.
So how many lights do we currently have out?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, I believe it was 18, not including Saddle Subdivision, because Saddle Subdivision is Powder River Energy.
So that, to me, is pretty significant. Not having lights in neighborhoods creates a huge safety risk.
So we'll be more proactive about bringing them to the awareness they have 18 lights out.
Mr. Mayor, the difficult part about this is all after hours work. Other than winter time, we have a couple guys that come in at 5 a.m., but they have other duties to do. It has to be dark in order for us to do this. In the summertime, you're either coming in at midnight to 4 a.m. or something like that, or you're working after it turns dark. So it is kind of taxing a little bit. That's why we aren't as proactive as we probably should be about checking the street lights, but we are checking them at least twice a year.
Well, we already know about this inventory of 18 lights out, so if we could just bring it to their awareness again.
Mr. Mayor, I did send an email to Black Hills Energy. The local lineman has called me and we discussed it. He's working on replacing them now. He is shorthanded being down one person in town. So.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Was there anything further on Black Hills Energy lights out rates? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to the April SLED meeting.